Welcome to Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I'll be covering every studio song the band has recorded and every bonus track that I can find. Each week we'll go over a new song from the beginning to where they are currently, and as they keep adding albums, I'll keep adding shows. Let the deep dive party begin.
In the magic garden, some were singing, some were dancing.
Hello and welcome to Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I am your host, Scott Haskett, and if you're out there driving around, or maybe you're sitting in your living room just looking out the window going, what am I doing with my life? I'll tell you what you're doing. You're digging into a Uriah Heep song with me right now, and there is not much better than that. This one's called Straight Through the Heart. What an interesting opening. First of all, we kind of have to go back to the last episode. We're coming out of Rollin' the Rock into this song, so there's that bit of continuation in the music there. But I really like this. This is really intriguing. It's a nice keyboard part. Love that guitar panning from left to right with a really nice reverb on it. Kind of made it in the distance, but not really in the distance, which was cool. So far, this is really interesting. I'm curious to see where it goes. Yeah, I'm liking this. In that first section, though, the keyboards were a little bit loud. And since everything is, again, panned so tight towards the center, we're really just kind of layering everything over everything else. And it's a matter of which frequencies are going to cut through that are going to be the ones that we're going to hear the most of. The vocals are a little bit buried, but you can at least still tell what he's saying. But I love the guitar sound on this. I love that it's just a good, straightforward, heavy rock song. And I think this is such a great new direction for Uriah Heep that they've taken since they've put this lineup together. It's something that really, at this point, that's the road they've headed down up until where they're at now with Living the Dream. And I love the sound. I like Mick taking the driver's seat here, too. I'm finding it really interesting how minimally they're using their backing vocals so far. Now, this could be a build to something else as we get through the song. I'll be interested to see, but it's really laid back for what we're used to from them. But they've really changed the style of the backing vocals over the last few albums. I like this, though. I like that not everything has to be a big epic feel, because this song, it's not really a big epic feel song. So to have, a big epic backing vocal or chorus over it might seem a little over the top. But this actually is really nice right here. I'll be curious to see what happens later on in the song. Now, I could be wrong, and it seems like I say that a lot in life, but it sounded to me that there was some doubling going on, or a slight harmony maybe during the verse, but just Peter Goalby doing his own voice in a couple of different layers. I could be wrong, but that's what it sounded like to me. It seemed like it was slightly harmonized, but if he actually did that live, he nailed his own pacing perfectly. That was really good. I like the sound of his voice, though. He really has such power to him. Really good lead for a rock band. Well, first off, going back to that chorus, I love those little fill-ins that Mick is doing. Those are the kind of things that, for me, a lot of times can make the song or make the song more memorable. Otherwise, it can just be, here's how we do the verse, here's how we do the chorus, here's what the bridge is going to be. And it almost sounds formulated. But with those little touches of sound in there, they really make the whole song come alive, make it feel like it's not just, okay, we copied and pasted, we recorded a verse, a bridge, a chorus, and we just copied and pasted them. It really makes it feel like these are real musicians playing the songs, and I love that. But I think the chorus is great. I like the build that they did with the vocals here in the background. Very, very nice. Like I said, it might have been leading to something a little bit bigger, so they're kind of just stepping it up as they go, which sounds good. It's always good to have a build in a song. And great solo. I love that we're getting more solos now from Mick. I think it just adds so much more to a rock band to have guitar solos. It's nice to have keyboard solos too. It's nice to trade off a little bit, but for a rock band, you want that good distorted guitar to be really the lead in at least more than half of the songs. If you've got a great keyboard player like this band always seems to find, it's good to have keyboard solos there too, because if you have a guy that can bring it like your guitar player can, then by all means, there should be some keyboard solos too. But there's just something about, and maybe it's just that programming in my head about what a rock band is, but there's just something about a good guitar solo in a rock song. And, as I've said on pretty much every guitar solo we've had, Mick knows how to bring it. He definitely does. So it's nice to have that here a lot more on this album. Okay, that was pretty different. And I really like that. I like that panning across my ears. I like that gentle side of Peter Goalby's voice. I like that little inflection of synth bass that we heard in there too. That was pretty nice. Drums and live bass guitar, of course, are just absolutely solid on this song. Nothing too spectacular that I'm hearing from either of them, but you don't always need those instruments to be spectacular. Sometimes you just need them to play and lay that foundation for the song. But yeah, that was a really nice vocal effect. I like that. And I like the sound of Peter's voice where they chose to capture it. If you're going to have a repeating chorus, this is the way you do it. You have a singer who's really passionate, who's putting so much into the performance, and you just feel like you're there with them. You feel it in your chest, in your arms, and you feel your hands clenching, just feeling that depth that they're bringing out. That's how you do it. Well, I have to be honest, for my own personal taste, I think this could have been spun into a whole nother song, or at least a whole nother section of this song. But, here we are in the early 80s, and long songs were not the thing at this time. It was about, getting your songs on radio, as it always was. But now you had the video component because MTV was becoming a thing. And, Uriah Heep was certainly on MTV. I remember that very first time I ever heard them with That's the Way That It Is, when that video premiered. But the whole time was different. There were not a lot of long songs during this era that I can think of. They were, pretty short. And so they could have spun this into another song, I think, the way that they blended the last song into this one. But I would have loved to have seen where it went, because I think there's a really cool sound and feel to this, something very mysterious and intriguing. So, guys, if you ever want to continue on with it, you could always do a part 2 or just another song that picks up where this left off. I'd be open to hear it. But I just love those little, volume sweeps from Mick. They sound really good. That's a really nice keyboard sound. And the recording was really good on this album too, by the way. I mean, the instruments are very clear, well recorded. I have my issues with the mix just because of the panning, which really for me is a hard thing, but I really love this album. It's fantastic. And that will do it for this episode, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you are still driving around in your car, hopefully you found your life's purpose now. Or if you're sitting there staring out the window, wherever you are, I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Cheers. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. If you have enjoyed this show, please consider going over to Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast outlet, leaving a rating or a review. Be sure to subscribe to make sure that you are notified when new episodes are available. Please be sure to share this podcast with your fellow Uriah Heep enthusiasts and anyone who you think would like Uriah Heep, which should be everyone. And if you are so inclined, please feel free to contribute to the Patreon account. And if you are not a Patreon subscriber, you can also pay through the PayPal link on the website listed in the show links below. I would also like to thank Uriah Heep for their very generous support of the show, and thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in the next episode. Happy days!